Cootie Crew, and welcome back to my channel. I have had quite a few requests to make videos around nose piercing. I'm going to go over the topic of nose piercings, but I'm going to break it down into smaller topics just so that the information is a little bit easier to sift through. So today's video is all about nostril piercings. So I'm going to go over what the process is like, aftercare, and jewelry. If I get to the end of the video and you still have questions about nostril piercings, please go ahead and leave those in the comments, and then I will be sure to answer them and maybe expand on the topic in a future video with a little bit more information. Also, please keep in mind, I am not a professional. There are people out there who are in fact professionals, and they would be great to consult if you have any questions or fears or need help with healing a piercing or something. But I'm hoping I can help answer some questions in this video. All right, let us begin. As you can see here, I have this one nostril piercing and then the scar of one of my older nostril piercings right next to it. Just in general, be aware that if you don't take care of it, it can scar, and that's on your face. First of all, I recommend doing your homework on finding a piercing shop that is awesome for every piercing. But again, this is one that's going to be going on your face, so I would say that this is a very important one to go to a good shop for. When you first get your nose pierced, you have to use jewelry that is a little different. So when it's first pierced, right, your nose will swell and there will be some goo, and it's just going through a lot of stuff, a lot of inflammation. So there are types of jewelry that are a looser fit, and that's what you need when you first get it pierced. That way there's room for all of that expanding of your nostril and everything like that. And then once healing's all over with, you can change it into basically whatever you want. Just keep that in mind. If you go to a good piercing shop, they will let you know. They'll let you know the different options that you have that are good for fresh piercings, just so you know. So of course they're going to sterilize you, right? And put a mark where they're going to make the piercing so that you can say, yes, looks good. No, please move it, or what have you. Then they take this nice big long needle and poke it through your nostril, and it's gonna look kind of crazy, right? Because it's this needle. I don't know how big. It always looks like a giant needle to me. I'm not a needle person. And then at the end of that needle is where they will put the jewelry in as that needle is coming out of your nose. Now, the actual piercing, of course, hurts. You're getting a hole punched through your skin. That hurts. But it's not this long, drawn-out pain. It's just, ow! And then they pull it through, and then when the jewelry goes in, there's a little bit more of that discomfort. And then after that, it's just really warm, kind of hot, just inflamed, but not really in pain. At least that was my experience. So if you're getting it pierced with a hoop, it'll have a little bead on it. That way it can keep it from just kind of going whatever which way in your nose. Or maybe you have just a stud that goes in. Whatever you get pierced with, do not change it for like 3 months. Don't even think about changing it. That is your jewelry for at least 3 months. They say 2 to 3 months, but I'm saying, to be safe, just expect it to take 3 months. Now, once it is a fresh piercing, it's totally normal for it to, like, yeah, be swollen or inflamed because, again, you just got a hole punched through your skin. So your body needs to deal with that. Now, the aftercare, first of all, don't touch it. Do not mess with it. Don't fiddle with it. Don't touch it. Touch it as little as possible. And then if you do have to touch it, wash your hands with some antibacterial soap first. Another thing to keep it from getting infected, no pools of water. So no pools, lakes, oceans, things like that. Just a no until it's done healing. Sorry. Really, you shouldn't be cleaning your nose with anything except for just, you know, shower water or whatever. And sea salt soaks.
Sea salt soaks.
Sea salt soaks. Look them up. And you've probably seen my channel, me doing a lot of salt soaks already. So you mix warm water with sea salt. Go ahead and find a recipe of appropriate size on the internet. And then so you have this like warmed water, not hot, you don't need to burn yourself, but warm, that you can submerge your freshly pierced piercing in for 5-7 minutes at a time, about twice a day. Sea salt soaks promote healing, also help to clear out any of the gunk that's going on. Since it is a pretty open area, you can also use something like this, a sterile sea salt spray. And then all it is like a spray can, and then you just spray your nose with it a couple times a day. Last thing I'm going to touch on in this video is jewelry. So I've had quite a few different types of jewelry in my nostril. So I've had the little hook, I've had this nose bone, I've had hoops. I had one with that's like a half or 3/4 hoop or whatever. I was just not a fan of the twist in type of studs because of boogers. Just it looked like a booger sometimes, you know, it just kind of like, sometimes it's at the edge of your nose and you can see it and it looks like a booger. So that's one. And then two, it catches boogers. Like, it just does. And so I had one, and I'm probably never going to have a twisty in again just because of the booger situation. I've been wearing this nose bone for a while now, a couple months, and that was something brand new I tried here on my channel actually, and so far it has been a pretty positive experience. There are some people who commented on the video of me trying it out for the first time that their experience was not so great, but it hasn't come out yet. It hasn't irritated my nose at all. So far so good, honestly. I'm pretty in love with it. I've had a post in my nose that actually was really great until the top kept coming off. What it is it's like flat, and then there's a tiny little post, and then there's a screw in like gem or whatever that goes onto the top. So at the piercing shop, they put it in for me, and it was totally fine for a really long time. Loved it, super cute. But then after some time, the top kept twisting out, and I could not, with my fingers, get it back in. One of the great things about a post is that it's flat on the inside of your nostril, so you don't have the booger problem. Then, of course, they have rings. You can get seamless rings, again, only once it's healed, or rings that have a bead on it to keep it from moving around. And you can get the rings in different diameters, so if you want it to be really snug to your nostril or larger, it's really easy to change up your look that way. Or they have some sort of in-betweens where it's like a half of a loop or a 3/4 of a loop, so it looks like 3/4 or a half of a circle. And then the back is just a flat post, and then you just twist it through and the flat part sits on your nostril. I had one of those like ages ago with my first nose piercing. Didn't really love it, didn't hate it, it was kind of indifferent. And as always, if you have your own tips or want to share your experience, please also leave that in the comments. And I know my experience isn't going to be the same as everyone else's, so this is a great space to just kind of share with each other and people who are interested. Oh, the nose bump. So the nose bump happens for a lot of people, myself included. It happened for a long time. It'll look like this dark purpley bump that happens around the spot where your nose is pierced. When that happens, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Just be really good about your sea salt soaks and do not touch it. If there's still an issue, then I would go consult a professional piercer because it might be the type of jewelry that you have in. If you do have the nose bump, I would definitely recommend getting one of these guys and then just kind of spray it a handful of times, I guess, throughout the day. Yeah, I know the nose bump plagues a lot of people, so if you found something that helped you get rid of it, please share that with everyone in the comments. In a later video, I'll go over septum piercings and whatever else you guys would like me to go over. That's all I can think of on this topic. If you guys have any questions that I didn't answer, please go ahead and leave them in the comments. And of course, as always, if you have any sort of feedback or want to share your experience around nostril piercings, this is an awesome place to do it. Please go ahead and leave it in the comments. We want this to be a learning space for everybody, and I think it's been really great. You guys have been super awesome so far as a community, and just getting information out there, sharing experiences, all of that is very helpful. If this was helpful for you, please give me a thumbs up. Feel free to check out the other videos on my channel and subscribe if you want to stay tuned for future videos. Okay, thanks guys. I'll catch you later.